Good morning, guys. It is Friday, finally, and it's been a rough week on me. Been going through guys like water. Another guy quit. Another boy quit there. He was off 3 days because of the flood waters, and I worked by myself, and then he ended up said he got a better job offer at another company, not doing the same thing that we do, but just a whole different industry. This is rough work sometimes. I don't think it's that bad, but it's rough in the elements. You're out here in the cold, which I say that while I'm sitting inside of my heated cab, but, I get out and do a lot of the manual labor right with everybody. It don't bother me none. It kind of keeps me trim and keeps my figure, It's almost bikini season again, and we got a pool at the house, and I don't want to be all, bulky looking. But, all seriousness, we got a new guy today. Started yesterday. We got a new guy, and seems to be working out pretty good. I like him, but the old saying goes, all brooms sweep good at first, so we'll see how well he musters and how long he stays. So far, the record for new employment for KD in 2021 is 3 days. So, we'll see if he can last 3 days. But I think he'll be fine. He's seemed to be pretty level-headed. I like his personality. So far, we're mingling well. I got another guy that starts March 15th. Really look forward to getting my full crew back up and running. And by that time, we should be ready for a full crew. At the moment, we could do a lot more, but I just don't, just because of the weather. But we've had a really good streak here of no rain. No rain today is Friday, so no rain I think is in the forecast till next week. And I don't even think they're even calling for anything measurable then. I think it's mostly just like a skimp of rain, so that is most welcome in this time because of how much wet rain we've had. Of course, you all probably know that we've had the major flooding in the areas. Really done some damage to some areas, but here we got, normal stuff, just slips and erosions. But some people lost some roads. Some counties was really devastated by the flooding. So we got kind of lucky here, and I don't think it was really, I think it was minimal. Some people had water in their homes, but we got lucky, I think. Overall, we got lucky as a county. Our area, Salt Rock area, got lucky. It wasn't as bad as what other people got it. So, right now I'm shoveling brush back up here into the road, or temporary road, so that he can shovel it or jockey it. So he can jockey it back down to the burn pile. Looked like the burn pile burned up good. Night watchman was here. Looked like the burn pile burned up really good. Looks good out there. So today I think is going to be about our last day for burning. It's getting a little bit dry. They're not liking it, so we're going to take advantage of the day and really get it going. So I think we'll be really close. If there's going to be anything left, it should be very minimal. We can probably do it when we're up here doing the grading work. We really need to get the road built out to the garage apartment. The payment scheduling, I'm actually behind. I'm advanced on my draw a little bit. With last week, I only had, this week, where I had a guy that was off for 3 days, so I was stuck doing everything myself. It put me behind. It put me behind again. So I got to make up for everything. The good thing is that it ain't like I got anywhere pressing to be. Hearsay, I ain't got really anywhere to go as far as have to be there. So it's not like it's catastrophic. I would really like to get this brush burning. I have a small window a lot of times of brush burning before it gets too hazardous to do during the spring season because of all the leaves and the wind. The wind is what helped. It ain't really the dry leaves because you can't see out there right now, but I've got an area, huge area that there is nothing on it. It's all dirt. So I don't really worry too much about the leaves as much as I do the wind. The wind is what kills me. The wind will carry my ambers and will cause problems that we don't want. So that's why we can't hardly burn this time of year. It's really hard to burn. It's because of that, because of the wind, the real heavy wind. We need the wind to help dry out the mud, but we don't want the wind when we're burning. It's a you can't never please this industry at all. So, but I am shoveling everything up so that way he can come in, and he's learning to master the grapple. It looks easy from outside. You just go in there and you get a big gob of brush. Well, to maximize productivity, you really have to work that grapple. It is a chore of its own, and thank God he has me for a shoveler, because if you get the wrong person shoveling brush, it is horrid. So I'm pretty daggone good at what I do. So I'm making sure that I keep everything straight. I don't have any harpoons in the brush or anything. I keep everything pretty good and straight, and I don't overstack it and pile it, stack it and pile it where you got to work behind in all. Really, it's pretty straightforward what we do, how I do it. And it takes a little bit more time with me, but I don't really care. It don't take me much more. I just got to sift through the pile here a little bit. The service truck, the Dodge service truck, should be done today. They're having it retuned by a different tuner, and I guess the guy that's tuning it this time is familiar with the cab and chassis trucks, which is supposed to be the culprit of why the truck didn't like to tune and why it was affecting my shifting. For those of you that haven't watched the previous videos, we had our service truck tuned, and it was slipping. I'm going to use that word because I don't know how else to explain it. It wasn't slipping, but it was slipping the shifts between third and fourth. So I had a couple people comment on it, saying that that is a problem, it sounds like, with the tuning, which is what I kind of figured myself. And so stressed that with mechanics, and I guess they finally found somebody else to retune it. But saying that, my truck is the last one on the schedule, so it won't be tuned until late tonight or late this evening or whatever. So I have to go without my truck. Now, I've been without my truck now for going on, over a week, right at a week, which don't seem like a whole lot of aggravation because I've got other trucks to drive. And not to mention, I got my little blue race car, my little blue hot rod. I keep saying race car, my little blue hot rod, which that my wife is driving now because her truck had to have ball joints put in it, or one ball joint and both wheel bearings. But I did put a 5 or 6 inch lift kit on it with bigger tires, so what do you expect to happen? The truck's only got 52,000 miles on it, or 55,000 or something. This Cage truck is really a gem. And she didn't get a new truck. She said she didn't want a new truck, so that's why I got the little blue hot rod. Let's see, what else? Yep, so that service truck should be done, and we should have it back by today, which will be a welcoming, because yesterday I goofballed around, slid off into the mud. I slid and busted a hose and a fitting on the 130 here, so I had to take some stuff apart, and I had caveman tools because the Chevy don't have a whole lot of tools on it. I had caveman tools, but I got it fixed. It's what matters. I got it fixed, but that cost us like 2 hours because I had to work on it. I had to go to J-Mo, the pipe supplier. I had to go there twice. So, but I got it fixed. So all in all, yeah, I'm really hopeful for this new guy. I really am. Like I said he's a little bit more mature, which I think will help. A lot of these younger people nowadays, they just don't understand that you have to crawl before you walk. You got to learn how to do things, and there's a reason why you have to learn. You have to learn how to grease and why it's important to grease. That way, whenever you go out on your own, I don't have to sit there and worry about, oh, man, I hope he really greases that machine. And ain't nothing makes me more mad than if I tell somebody to grease it. Daggone it, you goober. See what happens whenever I ain't paying attention? If I tell you to grease something and you don't grease it, it just seems so immature to me that you are sneaking around and not doing something I told you to do. Other than that, folks, KD is on the men's going forward. So you guys stay tuned, and I may flip you around here and let you give some. I'll give you some footage. Well, I should have probably been doing that instead of you all sitting there staring at my ugly mug. You all would probably much rather have watched me shovel brush. But stay tuned, folks. We appreciate you. And I know I don't say it. I keep forgetting. I got a good friend of mine out there that reminds me, always make sure you tell everybody that you got to like and subscribe. And I keep forgetting to say that, but I'll tell it again. You know, we've actually grown. I think we've got about 30 new subscribers in the last 3 or 4 days. So that's awesome. I love it. If you guys wouldn't care to share us and help us let this thing grow, it'd be awesome. KD's getting ready to get a big order of t-shirts in, so may have some to ship out. Some people want some t-shirts. We've sent some down into, I think there's some up in northern West Virginia or Pennsylvania, and I think I've got some down in Georgia maybe, or got some people on there that like me, and on our Facebook page, they get on our Facebook. Check us out there too. We got all kinds of fun stuff on that. So you guys take it easy, and talk to you soon. Okay, let's take out these. We got some locusts right here. There's the last few of the I call it bigger brush or brush that I got to get rid of. Let's get rid of these, and got 3 more I got to take out. While he's shoveling up that last of the brush up there. It's kind of a tight spot in here. I mean, I got it opened up pretty good, but it's still pretty dang tight. And there's a daggone fence and a building and stuff underneath me, and I don't really like being in this situation at all. Because, you know, I can't really, I mean, I can control stuff pretty good, but the types of trees that was in here, it wasn't very pleasant, I can tell you that. I was on pins and needles for most of this part of the job. I didn't even really count on doing any of this when I bid the job. This was a last minute addition, I guess you'd say, from the customer, and I wasn't aware of it. But I went ahead and did it anyway. I mean, I know it's going to make the job look better, but there was a reason why I didn't think about doing it to begin with, was because of the hazards. I really don't want to have to buy nobody's fence and be putting up fence again. So I got down most of them. There's not very many left here, but that was just a little addition for my customers there. But any of them, I just don't like. If it was just a fence, it'd be one thing. But there's a nice little brick house down there. It's an older couple. I don't want to risk tearing up something of theirs, and then, you know, even though it can be fixed, even though we got insurance, I mean, there's no need to do it. And then you end up getting somebody upset with you or whatever over something that you really can't control, so you shouldn't have been there to begin with, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, I can't control it, so I don't want to be in there to begin with. There's no reason for me to be there. Let's get this last one down right here. The brush jockey. Oh, I think I missed one, didn't I? Got a big long stub over there. John Deere, if you listen to me one time, I promise it'll do you good. When you build these 130s, would you make it an option for rock guards or chain guides? Because people like us run these things in places we probably shouldn't to begin with, and we need something to kind of keep us from having to lift themselves up all the time to re-rail our tracks. And we get that one out of the ground. Turn you up there a bit. This is the last one. Back on it. Let's put you back on there. This is the last one here. Put it back over here in the pile so we can swamp them up. I swamped everything this morning that I laid down on the ground last night. Didn't take me very long. Kind of lay everything in a pile like that, but don't make it to where you can't get in between it. And then that way, whenever you get done swamping it, you can just go through and pick them up in bundles and sling them behind you. It makes their whole job a lot easier. So much easier. We get this little bit of stuff done right here, and then what I'll do is I'll take my dozer and I'll go back over this whole area, and I'll kind of just dress it up a little bit just to keep the water off of it. I got a little chunk right there against our fence. Let's see if we can't get that off here without tearing the fence up. And I'm gonna leave that little piece. A lot of this stuff here has been laying here for many, many years. I'd say, from what I understand, they've had all kinds of problems with trees falling down here on their fence, and they were just happy as could be when I got to take some of it out. Thought I'd do everything I could, but I couldn't guarantee I'd take everything because of the problem, not being able to control it. So I wouldn't care too much, but with it being right up against their house and stuff, and the trees already fell on one of their buildings over there. See that? That's where it fell during the ice storm, which that was their tree, so it wasn't nothing that we did. Come on, baby. Fix this side. Come on, there we go. Back on. There you go. Come on, get on. Okay, let's go out here. This is all needing shoveled up. It's getting pretty close to where I'm at. I'll have to get back down on the road and shovel this stuff up next. Got a stringer back here. Try to get them to run their utilities right up this alley right here. This will be the place, this will be the way to run their utilities. It'll be pretty easy digging. See, I like to make sure I crumble all that stuff up good. It makes it a lot easier on the jockey. He don't have to sit there and watch everywhere he's at. And we'll put that up there, and then here in a minute we'll get up in the road and finish putting it over, lifting it up into the road for you. See how smoothly that broke apart? A lot better swamping than the last one, wasn't it? I swamped all this. Okay, let's see if we can get this one, and I think that'll do that. We'll move down and get the rest. Nice locust posts for somebody. I couldn't find anybody who wanted them, so I guess we're going to trash them. I probably should have took them home to my farm. I could probably use a bunch of them to replace some of the posts that got destroyed. Dad says that the fence line is just destroyed. That's another reason why I didn't want. Another reason why we got rid of our cattle. My cattle. I suppose I can't run my business and run my farm and not live on my farm. And like this ice storm, I wouldn't have been able to work nowhere. I'd have been putting up fence. And I ain't got time for that. I got pretty good neighbors still up there at my farm. I don't want to have to go back and start buying different yards and all that. I don't want to do that. And I don't want my dad having to go do it. So he's 70-some years old. 75, I think. I think he'll be 75, maybe 76. I don't remember. 75 or 76. So, I don't him having to feel like he has to go do it because I'm not there. I know how he is. I am my father's son. He'll be out there. He'll be out there full with the daggone critters, and I'll be out here trying to work. It just ain't worth it. We got 1.5 horses. We got 1.5 horses, and that's plenty. He's a little bit more on his A game today, Harry. He's moving pretty fast. He'll be caught up in here in just a minute. I gotta get all this brush out there so I can go out there in a minute and build the fire back up. Oh man, I cannot wait to get him on those. Let's see here. Getting closer. Get all this stuff here shoveled up. We had ourselves a system, and I kind of incorporated the excavator into that, and then of course developed the grubbing into it, and I got a pretty good system hammered out. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that do the same thing that I do. I just haven't seen them yet, and I'm sure there's probably some people out there that probably started doing stuff like I do now because they seen it, which is fine with me. We got 2 down there we got to get a hold of. I got to get down the hill a little bit so I can reach them. I don't know if I can reach them yet or not. I'm still able to go reach them. Let me see here. Let me pull my thumb all the way back. Oh, I think we got it. Yeah, scoop it up. Got so much dirt in it, goober. One good thing about the dryer, it's dry right here because it makes it a lot easier on shoveling brush. You don't get as much dirt, mud in there, and then it'll fall off between the runs. The biggest thing is don't overcrowd. Leave some space in between your shovel piles. That way you ain't getting everything all cock locked up, and then you can't get it. You get pieces crossways, man, and it makes it hard on that jockey. Make his life easier. And here we get more speed. More speed, more production, more burning, baby, more burning. I was burning brush one time before Forester come out. I had 2 piles going. He said, no, he said, you can't have 2 piles. You can only have 1 pile going at one time. You can't have 2. I said, well, that ain't no problem. So we just started building brush fire between the 2, connecting them. I had a big old long brush pile. So there you go, problem solved. Well, technically it's 1 pile, so yeah. You're good. Have a good day. Sometimes it's all about the terminology. Terminology and your wording. Where I'm from, we call that politicking. Gotta learn how to politic. Man, I think these are a little bit longer. I think I cut them a little bit longer. That's alright. He can manage that. 16 feet is about the max that I like going. If I'm out in the open, wide open, I don't care for 20 or so. If you're out the road job, you need to keep them down about 16 feet. The brush ain't as bad. The tips of the brush will break and fold back. But the logs, they rub a tree with one of them, that hurts. About caught up with me. Getting back up there in the road, shovel that up. Molly's getting one more grab. Let's go down here. I looked this morning. I think I can take these down without too much trouble. I don't like them vines, but I'm gonna try it. Alright, we got lucky on that one. I don't like telling somebody something and I don't do it, or tell them I can't do something, but I can, because I don't like looking like a liar. Try not to look like a liar. Let's see here. That stuff right there is just brittle, man. Try to be good to them neighbors. Them neighbors keep your stuff getting messed with. This woman over here in this house, I really like her, so she watches the stuff now. I think she does anyway. She watches the stuff. We made friends with her the first day we come in here, and I think that made a big difference. You know, I try to go over and talk to these people and make them feel like, you know, hey, I'm over here working, but I work for these people, but what you're asking me or what you're wanting or what you're thinking means to me too, you know. I just call it being respectful, neighborly, keep the dirt off the road. You know, don't just sit there and just muddy everything up on these people and then just leave it. You need to make sure you keep the road clean and make them feel like stuff matters. And most people, they won't mistake their kindness for your weakness, but there's a few out there you feel. We're committed to this one now, ain't we? There we go. I think that line will come with this. There we go. It's pretty good there. It cleaned up nice. Got her light back out. If I get that light shining down on my equipment. And make them people happy too. All about the happiness. Happy, happy, happy. You got happy customers and happy neighbors, they don't call in on you. You don't want no aggravation. You don't want the little green men showing back up. Alright, we got a complaint. Now your complaint is wrong. I think everything else is pretty much garbage. See that dozer run over that stuff and mash it and bust it up. We're not going to hang out of here anyway, so it ain't going to matter. Come on, baby, get in there. I have to make another trip. I'll throw this up here in the road. That way, while I'm finishing up dressing up here, he's got something he can grab and haul back. Just try to clean up a little bit more of this. This stuff's going to bust up probably fine. There we go. Let's get a little bit more. Right there. There we go. Cherry's got to come out. I don't like to, but it's ugly looking, and I know the customer's going to want it out. I can just tell. I just know it. I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, that's going to be a negative tree. It's going to be a punch tree. Go ahead and take it out and eliminate that one. It looks bad anyway. There we go. Just about. Just clean. Clean it up nice. I think we get this one more tree down and we'll quit and we'll get back up here in the road. There we go. Put that one right there. We'll get that one in a minute. Dollar General. Most of them, they just look at it like you're such a smart. Yeah, well, that would be me. I guess everybody's afraid that this is going to be a subdivision. I mean, everybody you talk to. I was afraid they was going to put a subdivision. Just thinking to myself, you need to tell me you'd rather see a Dollar General than a subdivision? Logan come out. Like that's a bad thing. Some people. There really ain't that many bad people. There's only like 10 people. 10 bad people. They just move around a lot. Get that there cleaned up. I think the rest of that will kind of grayed out. I think that people can ask for much more than that out of add-on work. That's all right. It looks good though. Looks real good. That looks real good, don't it? Y'all remember what that used to look like? I'll raise my bucket up here to see what it looks like now. All opened up. That one cherry out there, there ain't a whole lot. I'm just afraid of it. I could probably get it down, but I'm just, man, that tear up that fence and everything, and then there I am, I'm hurt. They can get the rest of it down. I think they got a friend of theirs that's a tree company, so I'm sure they'll take care of the rest of it for them. There we go. Let's carry it up to the top of the hill. Get that river ready for you. a thumb. It's not a brush rake, you know. So you have to really. A lot of people want to try to do too much, and then I think that's what tears them up. It gives hydraulic thumbs a bad name. People tearing them up. I like a hydraulic thumb because I'm constantly working it anyway. I'm constantly moving a different pitch. As I'm shoveling brush, I got to adjust the pitch of that thumb to pick up stuff like that little small stick right there. You know, I have to be able to pick up that to keep the dirt out of it. If you don't have a lot of adjustment on your thumb, the next thing you know, you're just gathering up so much dirt, and then that dirt's going to show with the iron. I try to pick everything as clean as I can, but if you go through it and you'll just wear yourself out trying to pick up all that little stuff. That's what the rake is on the skid steer. You'll go down there and rake that stuff up, it'll be done. It'll have a lot of dirt in it, you can go and burn it, but you can put it into a low-lying area that don't matter, that you're not going to be building on. You just throw it in the low-lying area. It'll be good for topsoil. It'll good for a lot of ends. As long as you got a couple inches of good clean stuff on top, that's all matters. You usually don't have too many issues. Been doing it for a while. You have none yet. I don't think I had anything on this side. I'm going to take that little cherry down over there. Take it down. And I'm going to take down, I think one more up above me. I'm going to take another little cherry down. The rest of them I'm going to leave. I thought this road would look nice if it passed through these. Whenever I visualized this road back in, I think I first looked at this job maybe in November, maybe in November or December, I don't remember. It still wasn't real cold the first time I looked at it. I visualized this road coming through these big, nice, pretty poppers, and they'll straighten up now. They got some ice damage to them, but I think they'll straighten right up after a year or so. They'll clean up. They'll be nice, and the road will look nice when you come up through here. This right here opens the road up. People around here don't really know what we're doing. We open this road up where they can actually see up in here. They'll be able to see what we're doing, and it'll make it nice. See if we can keep the dirt out of that. I'm just kind of shaking that most of that dirt will fall through that pile. So whenever he grabs it. I don't like to stack and put them on top of each other if I don't have to, because that gives him some breathing room. And where the roads get drier, he's not going to have to deal with the mud as much. So he can actually, just keep shoving right on out through here for me. I think his pile's a little bit bigger. A lot of times I can swamp faster. It's easier for me just to do it than it is for him to stop what he's doing. If I've got work for him doing, I'm not going to have him stop what he's doing and swamp something that I can swamp by myself. That's the main thing right there. Keeping them piles straight. That way he don't have to do a whole lot of them and just drive in through them and grab them. So I kind of got this pile here kind of dog knocked up. Kind of separated. That's where I was in a bad angle. Usually if I get a big old piece like that one, I'll throw it kind of off to the side. That way he can use his own judgment on, if he wants to fight. Just trying to take a couple pieces. And sometimes it's easier, instead of him trying to jam all that material into that bucket, it's easier for him just to take a smaller bite, smaller run, and run with it, and then come back and get the rest. You can kind of separate it up a little bit there. Today's his only second day. He'll figure it out. I think he's smart enough, he'll figure it out. Some people, my feet are roasted. Some people you have to just stand on top of and say, no, don't do that, don't do this. And he don't seem that kind. He seems like somebody you can catch on pretty quick. You just show the basics and then stand back. That's kind of the way I always was. Or I kind of think I am. It wasn't the flip him. I think I'm going to leave him out. I give him something. And let's clean up this here real quick. And got a little bit more. Then we can take his cherry down before he gets too close. trying to let him learn on his own. I don't want to stand on top of him. Let him learn on his own. Should have got radios. I need to get a radios. I'll get them here in a minute. Oh man. And let's see what this here should be pretty straight. I think I put this one in straight. Yeah. Good there. We'll have this big old baller here in a few minutes. These old root balls there, you have to carry them out just slower. The thing is, see, I got plenty enough room now. I can drive the side down through there. Let's lay this on the upper side. We'll get in a minute. If it don't roll down on top of us. Dirt's starting to dry out. That water's leaching out of that soil. I didn't want to start building the road, man, right now, because the ground was so saturated that the water was running out. Shoot, you couldn't even build a road fast enough to get the water off of it, get it dewatered. So you're better off just to wait, let it kind of fall down some. We got about pieces right here. Throw these up. I got a little bit of mess to clean up here behind me. And then let's get this wild cherry down. This one needed to come out anyway, because I think the road's going to be down there anyway. You just got to be careful. You don't want to take out too many roots at one time, and then you don't have anything holding your tree. And especially with the house and stuff, well, I don't think it'll reach it, but I think it'll reach it fence. But you want to take out enough that you can control it, control the ball. See, I may have to hijack anything if it's up here on the road. There's holding quite a bit. You can tell when it starts shaking the tree how much it's holding. Unless we have some issues down there getting loaded. You see him down there loading his bucket. He's getting faster. See, that's a good looking load there. He's got a good looking load there. He's learning. He is learning. Got him a hole. He's got a hole dug out in that road there. He's digging himself down in a hole. He can't get spun around. He's going to back up. See, he's figured out. Just back up a little bit and make you another hole. It's all that water, man. That water coming out of the ground. It's hard to deal with. bait should come out there pretty easy. I use my thumb as like a backer. That way, if something happens, it starts to fall the wrong way, I can move it around. Look at there, look at there. Got some good looking dirt from this breaker up there. Let's look at it. Salmon. Oh, that's some shell in that. Yeah, we got some good base material. I was worried. I didn't know how thick this loom is. This loom is so daggone thick. Sometimes if I ain't gonna get out right now, but if I was going to, I would put that dirt back against that root ball. And what that does is that allows you to cut that root ball off and it won't upset on you. You know, it's kind of got like a scotch. Now, what we'll do this way is, let's go ahead and swamp him up and then we'll you fellas stay tuned and we'll get back with you. Well, it's dark. I'm playing fireman. Just about had a little bit of chaos. Got it under control. Leaf blower. Handled it with the leaf blower. Got it all put out. Got it blowed back. And letting it die down. I got hasty trying to get stuff burnt. Got her too big. Then she started blowing ambers up. And got over here in the leaves with the wind blowing. And it was almost a bad day. Almost East Lynn all over again. Burnsy knows what I'm talking about. But I got my pump. Called Miss Kay and told her, I said, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now and do what I'm telling you to do. And she did it. Good woman. Daughter Victoria jumped in and helped her and loaded everything up and brought it out. As far as I know, I think they're out there still waiting on I guess they're still waiting on a new guy to clean track. But Bodie Grass, this message is for you. Remember about a year ago when I told you I wanted quick connects for all of my water line, all of my hoses for my pump, and I needed more of them, and you said they're out of them, but we're going to get them back in stock. You probably forgot. If you didn't, I'd like to have those because I spent 30 minutes, 20 minutes trying to get this hose hooked up, and it was MacGyvering, but I finally got it. So please, Monday, get my quick connects. So that way if I have another catastrophe, near catastrophic event going on, I don't have to fight with the hoses and all that nonsense. If you don't care, I'd appreciate it. The whole water I got dug out ain't quite big enough, but I got everything moisted down, got everything wetted up. The risk is over with, so we got that part done. Now I'm just gonna sit here and watch a fire. I don't think his stuff will freeze too much tonight. I'll come back and get it tomorrow because I don't feel like fighting with it out of here. You guys have a fun-filled day, and we appreciate you for watching. And remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And let's get together. Y'all have a fun day and have a great weekend.